In this video, I have your 2023 manifesting challenge. This exercise is going to change your life. Happy New Year's, everyone. So I want you to stop yourself right now. I want you to think of something that you desire, something that you don't actually have right now, but something that you want to have in your life. If you've clicked on this video, there's something that you're trying to manifest into your life. So right now, I want you to take a moment. I want you to think of this thing that you're trying to manifest, whether that's a new relationship, it's a new car, or it's a lot of money, winning the lottery, whatever it is that you desire. I want you to think of yourself right now, just for a few seconds, and I want you to imagine how you would feel if you already had it. Just picture the thing right now, just for a second. Just picture it in your mind. As soon as you think of it, you're going to picture it. You're going to automatically imagine it in your mind. Okay, so that feeling. Okay, so that feeling of that manifestation being completed, that feeling that you had right then, whether you were conscious of it or not, was happiness. Because at the end of your goal or your manifestations or all of your desires, that is the feeling that you want, is happiness. Okay, so now that you've felt what you would feel had you had your desire and it was already manifested into your world, the law of assumption works equally well in the reverse direction. So if you know how that feels, all you have to do is recreate that feeling and be persistent in that feeling, and then you will create it. That is the way the law of assumption works. So it's that simple. All you have to do is keep imagining that. Keep popping that up in your imagination of the thing, of the desire already being completed. Just think of it. Think of the feeling. Just imagine it, pop it up in your mind, and then you'll have that completed feeling of happiness at your end result. Because you've automatically, once you changed your mood and you thought of it, just thought of it, then your mind automatically will image it being complete. And if you keep doing this as you're falling asleep and throughout the day, it will be manifested into your 3D world. And that is the testimonial that I'm going to share with you today out of chapter 7, Neville Goddard's Law and the Promise. And the title of this chapter is Moods, but it's based on a testimonial where a woman used an affirmation as she was falling asleep every single night. She was doing this and she needed so many things. There were so many things that she wanted to manifest, but she located the feeling of having everything that she wanted with this affirmation. So she located this affirmation, which made her feel as if she already had everything, because there were so many things that she needed. She was broke. She didn't have any money. Her car was broken down. She needed new furniture. She needed all these things in her life. But she didn't know where to start. So she came up with an affirmation that actually implied that everything was complete. And she found the feeling through this affirmation that implied and created that powerful, happy feeling within her as she was falling asleep, that she already had everything and everything was working out for her perfectly. So this testimonial is going to give you a great idea or a great starting point to manifest anything that you want to come into your life very simply by using this affirmation as you're falling asleep every single night. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this woman's testimonial right now. Okay, so at the time of this wonderful thing happening to me, I was out of the job and had no family to fall back on for support. I needed just about everything in my life to find a decent job. I needed a car to look for it. And though I had a car, it was so worn out, it was ready to fall apart. I was behind on my rent. I had no proper clothes to seek a job. And today, it's no fun for a woman of 55 to apply for a job of any kind. And my bank account was almost depleted, and there was no friend to whom I could turn. So everything in her life was upside down. Her car was destroyed. She didn't have any money. She didn't have any friends to fall back on, no one to support her. And she was 55 years old and she was trying to find a job. She needed so many things, but she had been attending Neville Goddard's lectures for almost a year, and in her desperation, it forced her to put her imagination to the test. And indeed, she had nothing to lose. It was natural for her. She's supposed to begin by imagining herself having everything that she needed, but she needed so many things in such short order that she found herself exhausted when she finally got through the list. And by that time, she was so nervous she couldn't sleep. So she needed so many things. So one lecture night, she heard Neville Goddard tell of an artist who captured the feeling or word, as you called it, of "isn't it wonderful" in this personal experience. So she used this affirmation, "isn't it wonderful," this word. She found a feeling from the words, because your words And your thoughts are going to create these images in your mind. And then what those images are automatically going to do is create a feeling state within you. So the word creates a feeling. Affirmations create images and then those feelings in your mind. So you can start with that affirmation, and the affirmation will create a new feeling state. Okay, so then she began to apply this idea to her own case. And instead of thinking of and imagining every article that she needed, she tried to capture the feeling that something wonderful was happening to her, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. It was happening. Something marvelous, something wonderful was happening to her, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. She was creating the feeling in the present moment, creating the future dream as a present fact. Okay, so, and she would say over and over to herself as she fell asleep, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me right now." So she's saying this and repeating this to herself as she's falling asleep over and over. "Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me right now." And as I fell asleep, or as she fell asleep, she would feel the way she would expect to feel under such circumstances. So when she created this affirmation and that feeling, everything in her life, her current situation was now disappeared. She had no more problems in her life, and her present feeling state was completely changed. So she went to the end and created that feeling and created it in the present moment as she drifted into the subconscious level, which is the subconscious mind, which knows all. So when you're creating this present feeling and then you impress it into the subconscious mind, it will be translated and be transformed from the subconscious mind into your world. So she's going to shift to that different parallel reality from this feeling state. And that's exactly what happens, okay? So then she repeated that imaginary action and feeling for 2 months. And remember, she had a lot of things going on in her life, so it took a little bit of time for this affirmation to work, but she persisted in it night after night, persisted in it until it happened, okay? So she repeated that imaginary action of, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me," for 2 months, night after night. And one day in early October, she met a casual friend who she hadn't seen for months, who informed her that he was about to leave on a trip to New York. She had lived in New York many years ago and had talked of the city a few moments and then parted from him. And she completely forgot the incident altogether. 1 month later, to the day, this man called or came to her apartment, and this guy simply handed her a certified check in her name for $2,500. And after she got over the initial shock of seeing her name on a check for so much money, the story that unfolded seemed like a dream to her. It concerned a friend she had not seen nor heard from in more than 25 years. This friend of her past, she now learned, had become extremely wealthy in those 25 years. So their mutual acquaintance who had brought the check to her had met him quite by accident during the trip to New York last month. During their conversations, they spoke of her, and then for reasons that she did not know, this old friend decided to share a portion of his great wealth with her. For the next 2 years, from the office of his attorney, she received monthly checks so generous in the amount they not only covered every necessary requirement of daily living, but left much over for all the lovely things of life: a car, clothes, a spacious apartment, and best of all, no need to earn her daily bread. So she no longer had to work after she did this. So 2 months after using this affirmation of, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening." So she did this every single night. She was broke completely, car broken down, didn't have any money, didn't have any friends, had to go look for a job. She did this affirmation, fell asleep feeling that, "Isn't something wonderful happening to me right now? Isn't it marvelous?" Falling asleep to this every single night and creating this after 2 months. And now she doesn't have to work. She's retired. She has everything that she wants now. And she created that through this affirmation and what she fell asleep with. So just when she thought it couldn't get any better, this affirmation actually created this right here. So she received a letter with some legal papers to be signed, which provide the continuation of this monthly income for the rest of her natural life. I love this exercise so much that I have created a meditation on this. It is the "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me" meditation. I've created a sleep meditation which goes right alongside with this exercise. So you can listen to that. I want you to listen to that every single night. Fall asleep listening to the "Isn't it wonderful" sleep meditation until your manifestation is complete, till something wonderful actually happens in your life, which it will. All you have to do is listen and fall asleep to the meditation, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me." And I'm going to pop that card up on the screen to that meditation. So all you have to do is click on the screen when I pop the card up at the end of this video. All right, guys, that's the end of this video, and Happy New Year. And this is your 2023 manifesting challenge to "Isn't it wonderful that something wonderful is happening to me now?" I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.